Hello, friends. It's DC here at DC School of Music. Today we're going to play a blues 12 bar pattern, standard 12 bar blues in the key of B flat. And this particular lesson, we're going to primarily concentrate on how to walk a bass line in addition to playing the chords with the song. So let me go ahead and start the process by just playing what we're going to learn today. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the very first chord. As you see in the diagram here with the chord chart, first chord is a B flat, and we are going to be playing the tones that are specific to this chord. For the bass line, we are actually playing the root of the chord, then the third of the chord, which is D. So it's B flat, then D, and then the F. And we're basically using those three notes of the triad to use as a bass line. So if you see here, I'm playing the root, then I'm plucking the chords, which are, for this particular chord, we are playing the seventh and the third of that B flat chord. The seventh is going to be the A flat, and of course, the third is the note D. So we have root, third, fifth, third, root. Okay, so I'm discussing and I'm talking about the actual bass notes. So the bass note here is B flat, that's the root. The five is the three is the D, and then the five is right here, the F. So this is the pattern you want to practice, and this is going to become very helpful and useful in this process. Okay, the next chord we're going to move to is the E flat, which is the 4 chord in this key. E flat is right here. This is an actual E flat 7, so we're going to primarily concentrate on all the dominant chords as they would be represented in the standard 12 bar blues. So you have E flat here. The way I walk the bass pattern here is just using the fifth of the chord. So we have E flat here, which is the root, and then the fifth of that E flat chord is this B flat right here. So if you just basically hop back and forth between the root and the fifth of that 4 chord, the E flat, you're going to come up with this sound. Okay, and that's what we're after. While you're learning how to do this, it's definitely a good idea to kind of segregate and separate the different chords and the patterns until you get comfortable with them, comfortable enough that you can actually link the chords together. So far we have 2 chords. We have the 1 chord, the B flat, and the 4 chord, which is the E flat. So that's the 2nd chord. So we have, so far, this is how far we've gotten into the pattern. We have basically the first 6 measures of the pattern. So you have B flat, root, third, fifth, third, E flat, root, and then the 5th. Then you have root, third, fifth, third, root. And I do a little chromatic walk down from this F to this E to this E flat. Okay, so that's how we get from chord to chord. Best way to approach the upcoming chords typically is going to be by a half of a step. So you want to kind of walk your way So there's the resolution from this B flat, 5, that's an E7, and then E flat 7. Okay, so that gets us through the first six measures of the progression. So let's discuss what just happened right there. When we were coming back from the 4 chord, I go to this A flat 7, which is the flat 7 in the key, but we're just going to walk up chromatically and just play each of the chords, the 7th chord. So we have A flat 7, A7, and B flat 7. And that gets us back to the 1 chord. So from the 4 chord, then you're back into the normal pattern. Okay, this will take us to the 5 chord. There's the F7. Okay, so we have coming from the 4 chord. So we have B flat, 3rd, then this is the 4th of B flat, but it's also the E flat chord, E, and then F7. That gets us to the 5 chord. Same pattern as the 4 chord. See, we're playing the root and the 5th, then the root and 5th of the 4 chord, and that will get us back to the 1, which I like to approach by a half of a step, as I mentioned earlier. So you have 4, 1, and this is the root, 3rd and 5th on the walking bass. Come down chromatically to the E flat, A flat, A, B flat 7. Now, walking up from here, E flat, E, and F, 7, gets us to the 5 chord. Then we walk down to the 4 chord, and then chromatically from A to B flat 7. Now, on the end of these progressions, typically you do what's called a turnaround. A turnaround is a 1, 6, 2, 5 chord progression. That's going to be your standard turnaround. So once we get to this last measure 10 of the pattern, it's going to go 1, measure 11 is going to start with the 1 chord, B flat, then the 6th chord, which is G minor, 2 chord is C minor, the 5 is F7, and that gets us back to the beginning. So if we put all that together, we get this pattern here. 1, 4 chord, 1 chord, 4 chord, that's a diminished sharp 4, back to the 1, 6 chord, 2, 5, here's the turn, 1, 6, 2, 5. Okay, so if we're walking that, it's just going to be 1, 6, 2, 5. So we put all that together up to speed, it's going to sound like this.